something happened yesterday that is very telling as to what is going to be happening tomorrow. A huckster by the name of Glenn Beck decided that he's going to take the side of the liberals. And he went on his show, and he said that it's deadly for his career, but he's going to send truckloads of meals and soccer balls to help some of the roughly 60,000 underage refugees who have crossed into America illegally. And predictably, this morning on the MSNBC show by the quisling Joe Scarborough and the New World Order daughter, Brzezinski, they did exactly what I predicted would happen. They embraced Glenn Beck. They trashed conservatives who are against amnesty. They said that Glenn Beck is acting as a good Christian. And, of course, Scarborough, the double-talking quisling, even mocked anyone who opposes amnesty as unchristian. Glenn Beck, in other words, opened up the door to attack the entire conservative movement. Do you really think he cares about the children? Do you actually think that this huckster, this carnival barker, Glenn Beck, cares about the children? Let me explain something to you. Glenn Beck got where he is, not through his talent, but through the Mormon Church. That's my opinion. It's one man's opinion. Were it not for the millions of members of that wonderful church who've been hoodwinked by this charlatan, his books never would have sold, his third-rate radio show would have never gotten where it is, and his charities wouldn't be rolling in dough. I want you to listen to the huckster, Glenn Beck, and his care for the illegals in clip 1.
I've never taken a position more deadly to my career than this, and I have never, ever taken a position that is more right than this. We're going to fill some tractor trailers with food, with water. The churches have asked us if we could bring teddy bears and soccer balls.
Churches.
So we've loaded up a whole tractor trailer of nothing but teddy bears and soccer balls. And then I'm going to go serve breakfast and lunch. And I'm going to help unload these trucks.
You fraud.
Hot meals for 3,000.
You double-talking quisling.
When America stops being good, we are no longer able to be great.
Now, I've always felt Glenn Beck was a phony. From day one, I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, look, this is a competitive business. No one likes me. I don't like them. That's a given. It's just competition. But I don't think any of them are as fraudulent as Glenn Beck. I've always felt he's a con man. There was a movie called Marjo 20 years ago about a country preacher who goes from town to town amongst the rubes with a giant tent and preaches the gospel of Jesus. Doesn't believe a word of it. That's what he's always struck me as. Anyone who wears their religion on their sleeve like that and cries on air and on a regular basis, whatever. I come from a more cynical background than that. But that's his act. He got away with it. He's gotten to be a rich man. He has all sorts of things going. Good luck to him. But he's now crossed the line. He's now permitted the backstabbing left-wing media to attack anyone who opposes amnesty as being unchristian, on this, on that. And if you don't believe me, I want you to listen to the next one, which is the quisling Joe Scarborough in clip 2.
He's actually playing by another person's handbook, Jesus' handbook.
Kiss my foot.
You know, Jesus was very clear.
Hey, Joe, wash my dirty feet.
The people that are blessed are those
Hey,
that
Scarborough, my feet are dirty from running around the block. Why don't you come wash them?
See, and you gave me something to drink. I needed clothing, and you gave me clothes.
You're full of garbage, Scarborough. You were thrown out of office in Florida, and you've made a good living as a quisling Republican on MSNBC. Why don't you give him some money? You liar, you. It's time that Rick Perry send the Arizona National Guard down there. Use National Guard. Thugs. These black-booted thugs. This collaboration between Mexico and the Obama administration is absolutely worrisome. It's frightening to think that this government is in cahoots with the corrupt socialist Mexican, Guatemalan, El Salvadoran regimes. It's hard to believe that you dummies out there don't recognize we've had a communist coup in the United States of America. Everything that every soldier died for in this century has gone up in smoke because we've had a coup. Obama won't even go to the illegal alien concentration camps. Why? Why won't he go there? If he's so in love with the children, why won't he embrace them? He won't even be photographed with them. Could be the Secret Service warned him he could contract tuberculosis, as some border agents have done. Perhaps he would get some scabies. Maybe some of the lice crawling out of the children's hair might crawl on his suit, God forbid. Maybe the gangbangers in the shelters next to the children might be a threat to the president. And we're also going to talk about the Obama church media complex, specifically Glenn Beck selling out for the illegal alien mafia. How do you feel about Glenn Beck crying on air saying he's going to bring hot meals to the illegals? Do you think that this is a Christian thing to do, or simply an attempt by Glenn Beck to be invited on all of the liberal programs that have banned him and all other individuals who are patriotic and believe in the law of the land?
Republicans used to understand this. This is not like a crazy democratic socialist idea. My favorite president's a Republican, Abraham Lincoln.
Let me stop right there. Watch out for what he just said. My favorite president is a Republican, Abraham Lincoln. Well, Abraham Lincoln arrested 15,000 of his political opponents so he could pursue his civil war. No wonder he's his favorite president. He suspended habeas corpus. Listen to what he just said and don't fall for it. I'm warning you. You know, for all of my flaws and all of my defects, and God knows I have many of them, I have a very, very deep prophetic streak in me as well. Yes, I inherited something from the ancient Israelites. I can see things before you can. I can see many things before you can. They come to me in dreams. They come to me through logic. Sometimes I just get a vision. I am telling you, you're living in a very dangerous time. And when you see this two-faced phony, Glenn Beck, suddenly jumping ship and joining the Obama administration and crying on air about bringing a tractor-trailer full of food to the poor children, you know something's coming. You know something's coming. You know it. What, all of a sudden there were no starving children in America? There are no starving children here in America? All of a sudden he has to find them from Guatemala. How many will he bring tractor trailers full of food for? 300,000, 3 million, 30 million, 60 million? How about all the starving children in India? How about the starving children in China? Where does it end? When does it end? What about America's poor? You see, from my point of view, charity begins at home. You want to talk about the Christian Bible? Charity begins at home. Let's start with the veterans. Let's start with the veterans who are dying in hallways. All of a sudden, he's got his heart on his sleeve, Glenn Beck. He's very much like Obama, and they'll never let a crisis go to waste. Now he's going to be at the border, grandstanding with the trucks full of soccer balls and teddy bears. Are you kidding me? He's using all the tactics of the left. Hillary Clinton came to power on the Children's Fund. It's always about the children. And Obama's so smart, and his minions are so smart, that they've used the children as a Trojan horse to bust our borders and destroy our sovereignty. Do you understand that? That it's not about the children, it's about America's sovereignty? Do you get it? Kevin on WABC, how do you feel about Glenn Beck joining Obama?
I am disgusted, Michael. To be honest with you, I've been a long listening and watching Glenn Beck fan. I've bought his books. I've watched his shows. I was devastated when he left Fox. I know you're not a big fan of Fox, but to hear that this man is doing this and enabling and jumping in bed with Obama, because remember, when you sleep with dogs, you get fleas. And the Catholic Church, and I'm a Catholic, I'm a practicing Catholic, I'm appalled that the Catholic bishops are asking parishioners to take these people into their homes and telling them they will get reimbursed for this. This is coming from my communist...
That's right. It's government money. In other words, the Catholic Church has become an arm of the Obama administration. There is no longer a separation of church and state. This is the most dangerous development in America's history. Do you know that?
I do. And let me tell you, this is coming from my communist Pope, who's saying to Obama in that meeting that he had when President Obama visited him, this was all planned. This was planned over a year ago. Because
Kevin, I know what's going on. There's been a revolution in the world, whether it be the president, the Pope, or the mayor in New York. They're all singing from the same leftist prayer book.
Yeah, exactly. Let me tell you, Michael, this was planned out because think about, they're not coming in the winter. They're coming in the spring and the summer. This was conspired a year ago to make sure that they were coming in warm weather. Because think about it, they got to travel from warm weather states to the midi.
Absolutely. That's right. And we have the emails from Department of Health and Human Services going back in January. RFPs, request for proposals to provide food, shelter, clothing, and housing for up to 100,000 of these children. They planned it. They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies, but were rebellious at the sea, even at the Red Sea. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known. I appeal to you, God. God, step in and save America now. Death train derails in Mexico. I want you to go to the Drudge Report right now if you're near a computer, because one picture is worth 1,000 words. This conniving Marxist president of ours is so smart that he has you believing it's all women and children. Take a look at the death train that derailed in Mexico. Take a look at the quote, children on that train hanging from the top. It looks like a train in India. But they're not 2 years old. They're not 5 years old. They're not 7 years old. They're grown men. They're grown men, 15, 16, 17, many of them with gang tattoos, pouring across the border because they're Obama's army. You say his army, don't get hysterical now. They're not here to carry guns, are they? No, they're here to carry votes. That's all they're here for. They're here to stuff the polls. They're here to destroy the midterm elections. They're here to make sure that Harry Reid, Dianne Feinstein, Barbara Boxer, and the entire left-wing cabal continues to assert their high heels over your head. Do you understand what's going on? Do you understand finally this is a war not only against America but against African Americans? Do you get it yet? Where the hell is the African American community on this? Where are the loudmouths like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton screaming, wait a minute, we're not giving $4 billion to foreigners. What about our people? They've never been for you. But it's happening. It's happening. African Americans are confronting immigrant supporters. A magazine is reporting that amnesty will be a disaster for black workers. But you don't have a voice, do you? No, anyone who stands up for you is now a racist because we're confronting the Marxist president. You're blinded by your imagery. Use your brains. Use your brains, not your eyes. Use your brains, not your prejudice. Don't prejudge me. I am telling you this is a war against the poor in America. You're telling me that all of the African Americans in this country are doing well? They don't need any help from the government? Suddenly we have an extra $4 billion to give to the poor of Central America? Are you crazy? Are you people out of your minds? Take a look at the pictures. Here's another little story from the Drudge Report. Muslim prayer rug found on Arizona border. Was that one of the children that Glenn Beck's going to bring a teddy bear to? Did one of the Guatemalan children have a Muslim prayer rug? Protests are spreading. Michigan residents fight plans to house illegals. Shipment of illegals to San Diego halted. Administration turns to churches to avoid clashes. It's going on. It's going on. First, he hollowed out the military by firing all of the combat commanders who would have opposed him. Now, the Mr. Rogers commanders that he left and the girls he put in charge of all of our avenues of national defense. Have you seen who he made a 4-star admiral last week? I almost fell off my chair. He made a woman a 4-star admiral who can't fly a plane, who can't pilot a ship. She's now a 4-star admiral. And the first thing she wants to talk about is sexual harassment in the Navy. You don't see what's going on in front of your eyes. Germany threw the CIA out. They were spying on the German leadership. We have a despotic regime that the rest of the world understands what this man is. He's a petty dictator right now. Germany threw the CIA out. They were spying on her. He's spying on every American. He's flooding America with teenage illegal aliens. And you think anybody who opposes him is an enemy? No, we are the resistance. We are the American resistance. Make no mistake about it. And you better join us or you won't have a country left. That's one man's opinion. I showed you in this program the connection between the churches and illegal immigration. I showed you particularly the Catholic Church, but I haven't yet gotten to the connection between the Mormon Church and illegal immigration, which is why Glenn Beck, who, by the way, is a stooge of the Mormon Church, in my opinion, has become so popular so quickly with no talent. Not only that, that's why Glenn Beck suddenly said he's going to bring hot meals to illegals. The church wants him to. Check it out. Check out the policy of the LDS Church. It's the most important player in the legislative process in Utah on bills related to illegal immigration. In fact, according to State Senator Stuart Reed, who was the Senate supporter of the Utah Guest Worker Amnesty Bill 3S HB 116, you will see that the Mormon Church is deeply involved in amnesty. You understand what I'm saying to you? You're at war. The country is at war. This is a sneak attack like Pearl Harbor. It may not be done with airplanes and ships and submarines and torpedoes, but Obama is torpedoing America's sovereignty. You are at war. You have an enemy within who is attacking this country's borders, language, and culture. And he is so clever that many of you idiots think that it's about the children. It has nothing to do with the children. He's only using the children as a Trojan horse. But I'll take your calls. Many of you probably disagree with me. Okay, let's go on to the callers. Philip, WMAL, you're a Glenn Beck supporter. You have the floor of the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Dr. Savage, I believe what you're telling me. The whole scenario around Glenn Beck, but I do believe, because I listen to you, I try to listen every day, but I do believe he is sincere in caring about the children. Now, the rest of it, I cannot dispute you. I cannot argue. You're more welcome.
Philip, listen to me. You know, the road to where is paved with good intentions.
True.
All right. So now, you don't believe that Glenn Beck is being cynical in sending trucks load of teddy bears and food to the illegals, and he's going to cook them meals, and that makes him a better Christian than those of us who want America's sovereignty protected?
I don't make him a better Christian. I think what he's trying to do is he realizes these children are going to be here for a while. They're not going to do what they're supposed to do, and give them...
Wait. Why should they be here for a while? Why doesn't Glenn Beck go down there and join the militia and say, no, you're not invading my country? Why doesn't he go down and help the American patriots who are trying to stop this invasion if he cared about America? And if he really cared about the children, he would see who the mothers are. What kind of mother sends a child across Mexico where half of them are being raped and abused? What kind of mother is that? The mothers of Guatemala and El Salvador, that's some kind of mother. What a mother that is.
This is true. But and the thing is that nobody...
What about the children in America here who need help? Why doesn't he care so much about charity in his own backyard?
They're running advertisements all the time about 16 million children that are hungry here in the United States.
Well, let Glenn Beck send a truckload of teddy bears to them and cook them some meals.
This is true.
All right, there it is. You don't have to hate the man to understand that he's a cynical Marjo.